What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Oskar Blues Brewery, and they're out of Longmont, Colorado, and this is their Death by King Cake. So on their website, they are calling this one a white porter, but on the label here, they're calling this an ale with vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, cacao nibs, orange peel, and pecans. Comes in at 6.5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is approximately 6 weeks old. So, yeah, I don't know if they're starting a whole Death by series. They have their Death by Coconut. So perhaps the start of a Death by series. So King Cake, I never had a King Cake in my life. I've only heard about them, really. I know that they are a traditional like dessert at Mardi Gras. A lot of people will bake them for parties, and they'll typically put like a little plastic baby into the cake, and if you get a slice with that plastic baby, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe that the following year you either have to host a Mardi Gras party or bake the cake, or maybe a combination of both. But outside of that, never had one. The ingredients for this beer are somewhat similar to what are in a King Cake. Now, like I said, they call this one a white porter on the website. On the label, it's an ale. I mean, a white porter would be an ale, but it's just weird that they don't say white porter. White porter really, they don't exist, just like white stouts, but I've never had a white porter. I've had a white stout, so probably similar. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of curious about this one, but I'm also kind of afraid. I haven't seen the best feedback on this one, but we're going to give it a go, give it an honest review, and see if we like it or not. I hope I do. That's the point of drinking beer, is liking it, so hopefully this is tasty, but we'll see. So yeah, I mean, white porter, I guess. I mean, maybe to some degree. I don't know. It just looks like a generic like blonde ale or something. Anyway, yeah, it has this like orange color, kind of a burnt orange, pretty filtered. About a finger and a half of this off-white, like almost eggshell white colored head. Relatively creamy looking. It looks fine. Looks like a blonde ale to me. That's what it looks like. It's good nose. Now, this is not super cold. Been on my fridge for almost a half an hour. Try to warm it up a little bit. I mean, there's a little bit of condensation on here, but this is probably like 50-55. I'm not getting a whole lot. Getting like this bready, like malty base to it, sweet. Maybe a touch of the cinnamon. What did they say? Vanilla? Not really cinnamon. Yeah, nutmeg. Yeah, like it almost has like a very lightly spiced, like winter warmer kind of quality to me. Yeah, the cinnamon, nutmeg, sure. Not really getting any chocolate from the cacao nibs. Nothing from the vanilla. Slight orange peel. You know what this has? This almost reminds me of like a Belgian wit beer. Kind of like a generic spiciness, a little bit of that like orange peel and like a breadiness, but not really getting like any specific Belgian yeast strain or anything, because there isn't in here. But it's kind of reminding me of like a Belgian wit beer. No nuttiness from the pecans. The aroma, it smells fine, but like you're telling me there's vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, cacao nibs, orange peel, and pecans. I get like 2 of the 6 right now. Doesn't smell fantastic to me. Just kind of smells like a solid beer, but nothing that's too crazy. Anyway, let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Based on the ingredients, what they're going for, this doesn't work to my palate. It just doesn't for what they're going for. As a beer, it's all right. It's solid. It's decent. This is honestly drinking like a Belgian wit beer to me, minus the Belgian yeast. It just has that orange peel. You get coriander typically in them. This more of cinnamon, nutmeg. It's like a Belgian wit beer, like combined with like a winter warmer. I know that sounds fucking really stupid, but that's what I'm getting. Body in this one, medium body, 6.5%. I'd say that's a positive. Has a nice body to it. Mouthfeel, it's relatively effervescent. There's a nice smoothness on the palate, but it's not like really soft or smooth and creamy or anything. Body, mouthfeel are fine. I do like the body. The taste, though, I'm getting a little bit more vanilla on the palate now as I drink on it. It's like underlying, but right up front, bready, sweeter, like kind of malt characteristics. Right after that, the orange peel kicks in, and so does the cinnamon and nutmeg. Would I be able to tell you it's cinnamon and nutmeg? No, I'd say generic spiciness. That's why I'm kind of comparing it to Belgian Wit beer with, you get the orange peel and the coriander. This is like orange peel and generic spiciness. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. As it continues on through the palate, it dries out a substantial amount for my palate. Like it's really sweet up front, but on the back of the palate has like a nice semi-dry to full-on dry finish. There's no bitterness to speak of to my palate as well. It's not for me. It's not a beer that's for me. I love Death by Coconut. I like typically what Oskar Blues does in general. To me, this is just not a good beer for me. I mean, I could see somebody drinking this and really liking it. For me, for what they're going for, I would give this like a 1.5 out of 5. But for what's in my glass, and that's where I rate beer a little bit differently than some. Stylistically speaking, and stylistically I mean for what they're going for, a king cake in beer form, they're calling this a white porter, a generic ale with all those ingredients, 1.5 out of 5. If we're talking about how much I enjoy this beer, personal preference, the best I can still do on this one, Death by King Cake from Oskar Blues, would be a low 3.25 out of 5. I'd go 3.2 out of 5. Best I can do. Just not a beer for me. It's not bad. I don't even think it's poorly made or anything. There's no off flavors or whatever. I'm just not getting most of the adjuncts. What I am getting is that vanilla underlying and that cinnamon and nutmeg and the orange peel. So I get technically 4 of the 6 adjuncts, but the vanilla seems a little bit out of place, and the cocoa nibs and the pecans really not getting at all. I'm not getting a nuttiness. I'm not getting any chocolate. It just, to me, drinks, like I said, a marriage of like a Belgian Wit beer minus the Belgian yeast and like a winter warmer where you're getting like a cinnamon nutmeg type of thing. It's kind of a marriage between the both. It's not a bad beer. It's not like a terrible beer, but for what they're going for, I think they missed it for me personally. And then on top of that, I just think it's a 3.2 out of 5. Like I'm going to drink the rest of this. I'm not going to like hate it or be upset doing so. It's just kind of a beer, and it's kind of disappointing. So yeah, anyway, Death by King Cake, 3.2 out of 5 for personal preference, 1.5 out of 5 for what they're going for. And yeah, I'll just pretty much leave it at that. Price and availability. Price point, I want to say it was $12 a 4-pack, so like $3 a can. I mean, with all the adjuncts and stuff, it's probably like value-wise worth it. But for me, no, I'd never pay that again. I honestly would not pay for this beer again, and that's just my personal preference. Again, you might be different. If you're watching this and you like this, post in the comments why you like it. I'd like to know what the redeeming qualities out of this beer are for you, because for me, there aren't a whole lot. Availability, wherever you see Oskar Blues, you should see this one. I think it just started popping up over the last 2 or 3 weeks. I picked this up a couple weeks ago. Right now, it's like 6 weeks old, but when I picked it up, it was just under a month old, I think. So yeah, anyway, very disappointing. Yeah, this is a beer that if you've had it before, I really want to hear your thoughts on it, because I'm very disappointed by it. I hope they turn the Death by Coconut and Death by King Cake. I hope it becomes a whole series. I'd like to see other beers, like you could do Death by Chocolate, or Death by a bunch of different adjuncts and ingredients and whatnot, and different desserts and the whole 9. But this one, for me, clear fail for what I'm looking for out of this beer. So I appreciate everybody stopping by. Like I said, if you've had this one before, definitely leave a comment and let me know what you think about it. And until the next one. Oh yeah, 6.5%. No, really can't tell. It's 6.5%. So the redeeming qualities for me would be the body's nice and it hides the alcohol relatively well. Outside of that, not much. So till the next one, cheers.